Nestled in the highlands of Kericho County, Fortenan is more than just a sleepy railway town.
It is here where the skull of a man who lived 14 to 12 million years was discovered, called Kenyapithecus.
Beneath its quiet surface lies a site of immense historical and prehistoric importance, one that has reshaped our understanding of human origins.
Alongside the skull of Kenyapithecus, there are so many animals, remains and plants remains which were discovered.
This area, sitting on the western edge of the Great Rift Valley, is home to one of the world's most significant prehistoric sites. It is here that the fossil remains of Kenyapithecus wikeri were unearthed in 1961, remains believed to belong to an ancient ancestor of humankind.
Fortenan became into world map again when a remain of human was discovered here in 1961 by archaeologist called Louis Leakey and his wife Mary Leakey.
The discovery was accidental. A road cut near Fortenan terrain exposed fossil-bearing layers, and among them, fragments of jaw and teeth that told a story older than time itself.
And the fossil, a very large fossil intact, still intact.
Right here?
Was seen right here, about 5 feet deep. Now these guys who are here did this, they marked this place so that maybe if they have time and resources, they come back to do excavation.
The land belonged to Douglas Van Wicker, a settler and amateur geologist.
And is the one who called Leakey when he was suspected with an object he encountered around. By then, Leakey was doing some excavation at Olduvai Gorge in Tanzania, the home of Sinjanthropus. Now, when he called Leakey and Leakey arrived here, Leakey discovered there's a lot of depositions of fossils. Then on his research mission, he discovered that the skull, which made this site to be known worldwide.
The famous Kenyan paleanthropologist Dr. Louis Leakey would later name the species Kenyapithecus wikeri in Van Wicker's honor.
Kenyapithecus wikeri, and that brings us to know about why it is called Kenyapithecus wikeri. This is a scientific or an intellect name because of somebody, a settler, who helped Leakey to identify this site. He was the owner of this land here. It's called Douglas Wicker. So when Leakey was on a research mission here, he insisted that every finding here, his name must appear beside the object.
This hominoid fossil is estimated to be over 14 million years old, placing it firmly in the middle of Miocene epoch. It represents one of the earliest known members of the great ape and human lineage, making Fortenan a keystone in the study of human evolution.
Fortenan prehistoric site is one of the significant or important sites that we have not only in Kenya but globally. Reason being, the site has yielded numerous fossil remains. And when we talk about the fossil or fossils, we are referring to the ancient remains of any plant or animal.
But Fortenan is not just about ancient bones buried in the soil. The town itself carries the weight of colonial and post-colonial history. Its name, Fort Tenan, originates from the British military outposts once stationed here during the construction of Kenya-Uganda Railway in the early 1900s.
So this guy came, this Major Trevor Tenan came and designed this, what we are now seeing as railway line. Upon completion, it was much, he liked the area very much. So he decided to stay around here. Unfortunately, Nandi rebellions didn't want to see any white-colored man. So this area was a battlefield between Nandi and white settlers. By then, there were a lot of white settlers around here. But Major Tenan decided to construct a kind of fortress, that is a kind of defensive building next where we are seeing railway station. So there, Nandis managed to kill him and destroyed that building. And that's the building which used to, the settlers here used to call Fort. Then the owner, Tenan.
Strategically placed near a railway tunnel and bridge, Fort Tenan became a critical transit point along what was then referred to as Lunatic Line. The railway was engineered by George Whitehouse, a British civil engineer whose work linked Mombasa to the shores of Lake Victoria, that is the Ugandan Railway, forever altering region's landscape. Today, visitors can still see remnants of colonial architecture and the second longest railway bridge in Africa, stretching across the nearby valley, an imposing relic of empire and ambition. But it is the earth below that holds the true story, a story of life, ancient, enduring, and unforgotten. Fort Tenan is not just a place on the map. It is a memory embedded in the bones of the earth, a silent witness to the birth of humanity.